Before we begin, 3 messages. When my company needed to develop a key mobile product, one that I was counting on as a new source of revenue, I knew exactly who to turn to. Macadamian. They delivered on time with incredible attention to detail, and I was able to get product into customers' hands faster than I ever thought possible. I've personally known them for 10 years, and they do make great products even better. Check them out at www.macadamian.com. Here's a riddle. How do you build native cross-platform mobile applications quickly without having to rewrite code and hire consultants at a huge cost? Titanium from Appcelerator. Called the easy button for mobile application development, it allows you to focus more on what's important, getting product out the door. Join the more than 1.5 million active developers who have created over 13,000 apps at www.appcelerator.com. So, you've taken some of the advice that has come from Untethered.tv guests, built an app, and now you're turning your attention to generating some hard-earned revenue. Then you should be looking at Pontiflex App Leads. Some of your peers who are using App Leads are earning CPMs 100 times the industry average. And if you need any other reasons to start, I'll give you 2 more. You can run sign-up ads from top brands, the ones that you recognize, and it won't take your precious users out of your app. Go to appleads.com, that's appleads.com to sign up. Hello everybody, welcome to Untethered.tv. This is where we have casual conversations with mobile rock stars. It's where I bring you a little bit of insight, a little bit of knowledge about how other people in this great mobile industry are building their companies and why they're building their companies and how they're doing it and with what technology and where they're doing it. And today I'm joined, I was introduced to this company. It's called Quipster. We were introduced to this company by Asif Khan, who I do a show with, also on Untethered.tv, called This Week in Location-Based Marketing. And it was Asif who actually brought this company to me. And as soon as we took a look at this, we decided, I'm going to reach out and see if they're interested in doing a full-on Untethered.tv session to talk about their business and the reasons why they do it. And Quipster is a unique approach on the check-in space, and we're going to get into a little bit more detail about it. But what really appealed to me was it's a very broad product that encompasses quite a bit of a lot of the other products that are out there that you typically would just download and have a single-use version of it. Companies that are out there doing little bits and pieces of what Quipster is doing, and there's a huge social element, but it allows you to do so much more, and we're going to dive right into this. And joining me from San Francisco, sunny San Francisco, the Bay Area, the hub of activity in the mobile space, I think next to New York City, is Krating Poonpol, who is the founder of Quipster. And I think that I got that name properly, didn't I, Krating?
Yes, that's very close. That's the closest in 5 years.
Nice. Well, there you go. Wow. Then we should just stop now. I'm not going to even call you by your first name after this. Krating, thank you so much for being a part of this and coming on to share your story. I know that you reached out after you heard us talk about you on This Week in Location-Based Marketing, and I really appreciate you doing that because I feel that it's a great story to tell and can't wait to get into it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much too. I'm very excited. Thank you.
So you would be like the head Quipster, right? Or the Quipster, the King Quipster. Is that what?
No, I think like I'm the slave to all Quipster in the world.
Okay, well,
so I'm the servant to all like Quipster kinds.
The servant, I love it. It's a very humble approach to and you have to have that when you're running your own company, right? You're not the king, you're the servant. That's a great analogy. I love it.
Yeah, and everyone is like a king,
Everyone's a king except for you, the founder.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a great approach. If most companies thought that way, the world would be a different place, I'm pretty sure. So tell me about. I mean, I know about Quipster. Talk to the people listening and watching, the folks who are here, my humble following that watch this or listen to the show. Talk to them about Quipster. What is Quipster?
So Quipster is like the instant sharing. It's like instant micro sharing for your city. So you can think of it like a micro Twitter, or it's like a semantic check-in for your city. So basically, it's a fun and fast way for users to share what's going on around town with fellow. So basically, it's like you share like what's going on around town. For example, like okay, this is like a new fun. This is like a party. This is like a new restaurant stuff, and it's like provide the context to your check-in. So that's why we call it like a contextual or semantic check-in. If you refer it to like a check-in. And at the same time, for some user, it's like a micro sharing. So each quip is like a micro tweet, you know, because like rather than like 140 like character, it's just like one icon. You use an icon to share what's going on. So that icon provide like instant like context to your like location. So for us, it's like and for many users, it's like a location with context. So we believe like if you provide like the context to your check-in, to your location sharing. So it's not only location, but the context and the semantic.
So basically, I mean, a great example is obviously around restaurants or a service industry where I check into a restaurant that I'm at, and I can actually quip whether or not it's the service was great, the food was good, the service was terrible, the atmosphere was great. You give kind of buckets for me to be able to check in with context, but as you said, through icons. Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and like,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say. So, I mean, when you start to think about, you know, a lot of people are using a lot of the check-in technologies today to just literally check in. There's no context to what they do. So you use Foursquare, Goala, or any of the other ones. You just say, "I'm here." And then it forces you to type things in like, you know, enjoying myself at the ball game or whatever. But you kind of take that out and say, listen, every single time you check in, it's contextualized first, location second, right?
Exactly. So for some user, it's like a mini review as well. So like it's like rather than like writing like SAT like length essay for your review, it's just like 2 click.
Yeah.
You know, you can like do a mini reviews. So we believe it's like it packs so much of information at the I think like it's optimal level of information in like only a few clicks that is suitable to mobile context. So like on the go while you wait at a restaurant or like for a party, that kind of thing, or even like a shopping event or like a discount event, you can do like only three a few clicks.
Yeah.
Only a few clicks, you pack a lot of like information. So it's the optimal way of sharing.
So, I mean, is that the big differentiator between what you're doing and, you know, some of the big guys, Foursquare, Goala, you know, even companies like Local Mind or Ditto, they do a lot of similar things, but maybe it's a little bit more labor intensive. What's your differentiator? What are you guys so different?
I think like there are like a few things. I think like the first one is like that kind of like contextual or semantic check-in, and number 2 is on like the community focus. So basically we build like a city page, right? So we build a city page where all the quip of everyone in the same city will be shared, and in the most active city during in the past month, they discover a lot of people, discover a lot of like what's going on around town. So it's like a discovery. So it's like you discover new people and then you can follow them easily. And at the same time, I think like it's a network. It's a network inside a network. So basically we have, you can, when you discover someone that share like a cool dining tips, right? You can start to follow him or being followed, and then like when you develop into a buddy, right, just in just one click, and then you can share. It's the same similar concept to like circle in Google. Yeah. But then we have like a buddy network inside like inside like a city level social network, and then you develop like a new kind of like relationship or like connection. It's like a building a new social graph, and at the same time you kind of like separate like a close trusted friends as well into like a buddy. So that's the other differentiator.
So when you set out to do this, I mean, what was it that was missing in some of the other applications? Was it that community side?
Yeah.
That's what you looked at and you said, you know, they're handling a piece of what we want to do, but they're missing something very significant, which is the community. Is that why you got into this?
Yeah, I think so. I think like it's the community and it's kind of like interaction, because we believe like our hypothesis to build this kind of application is that like with this kind of like combination between like an icon, because icon make it like casual and fun, and it reduces the barrier to interaction.
Sure.
So it's like it's easier for people to interact, and actually like the usage statistic is kind of like speak it all. It's like for every single quip that you make, right? So on average, every single quip has like 4 interaction. Has 4 interactions. So compared to like check-in, is you are not going to like to interact with your check-in, right?
No.
But for quip, it's like it's interaction.
So what do you mean by interaction, though?
Very impressive. And then like that's one hypothesis. And the second hypothesis is on like okay, you build a new social graph, right? You discover people. So it's because like Quipster make it so casual, make it so fun, right? So like following people is not a big deal, right? So it's just like okay, and then like it's not like, and then you can protect your location as well, right? It's not like you share your location like publicly by
Right.
default, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of like easier for you to be follow or follow the other people. So it's very easy to develop a new social graph.
But so when you use this, so it's obviously hyper local, right? Like, that's the whole goal, is that you're launching city to city to city, and then it bubbles up inside of the city. You're in San Francisco, so obviously there's a lot of activity in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
You're promoting
But
it.
but like the most active city is in like international city. That's impressive. It's like in Europe, because like our app got into like what's hot section in Europe, and also like in Asia, like Bangkok as well. So
it picked up there more so than it did in North America, or is it like you're seeing more activity there?
I guess like we see like more activity there, and also like we see quite a few activity in San Francisco. Problem in US is not like the number of users, but basically it just like spread throughout, like because US is so big. So for something graphically concentrated in some area as well.
Yeah, you'd almost want neighborhood by neighborhood. The concentration grows neighborhood by neighborhood, because you're right, city and then state and then country. That is big, and when you have that much wide open space and that many people, it's hard to reach them all. I wanted to come back to a point. What do you consider? What is an interaction?
So it's either like read, like or comment.
Okay.
There are like 3 kind of interaction. So basically when you quit, because it provide context, right? So it's like it's okay to say it immediately, right? So it's not just okay, I'm here and then like so what, right? So you don't have a basis for interaction. But for Quipster, because that icon gives you a basis, because it gives a context, so it gives a basis of interaction. So you read it, like it, or comment it. That's we call like one interaction. So that's why each interaction like is meaningful by itself as well.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. So that every time that somebody quips, there's 4 interactions that happen as a result of that one quip.
Yeah.
So what is an interaction?
So it's either like or read or like comment. So every time that the quip is like is read or like or comment, we call it like one interaction. So because in Quipster, it's just like you provide context, right, to your location. So it's like so it's easy for someone. Okay, it's more than just okay, I am here, but I'm here for what? This is how I feel, and because there's something going on in this place, that kind of thing. So it's provide a basis for your interaction. So that's why we see a lot of like interaction in Quipster.
So is it as important for you to have a huge number of users or a huge number of interactions? Or I mean, ideally you like both.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best thing. But when you look at metrics, is it, check-ins are important and users are important, but interactions, if it's a 4-to-1 ratio, you got to love that. So which is more important? Which do you focus on early on?
I think like right now we are in public beta, right?
Mm-hmm.
So basically we want to get the most interaction to get like to fine tune a product to maximize the interaction, because like when there is like interaction,
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of like it's easier for user to like to be addicted to the service, to stick to the service, right? Because like okay, I mean like for me, like I feel good every time that my quip is like is viewed or like or commented by somebody else,
Yeah.
Yep, and it's kind of like so you share like valuable content that is valued by the other community member. So I think like that kind of interaction is something that that we believe is more important at this moment.
This moment, yeah. And then at some point you want the number of users and then the 4 or 5 interactions per quip
Exactly.
because that's growth.
Yeah, and actually it's growing right now. So we believe it's kind of like similar to like a ladder way of thinking. So basically when you join, right? Okay, you make a quip so easily to share your context, right? And then like when you quip, someone interact with you, right? And then like okay, I decide to follow this guy. Then you develop a social graph, right? From interaction, from
Yeah.
sharing to interaction, and then like okay, as a new social graph, and after that you develop a buddy relationship, and that will be like the end of the ladder, the top of the ladder.
And then you start over with the next person.
Exactly.
Well,
And hope that kind of like cycle will like will keep going on.
so I mean, it's interesting because a lot of companies are taking such a different approach to a similar market, right? So the check-in economy has grown and deflated and grown, and lots of companies have come and gone. How do you compete? Not with the services that they're offering, but with that check-in fatigue, or the fact that I launch Foursquare, or I launch that app, and I launch this app, and I launch that app, and then now I'm going to add Quipster to it. There's another icon on my desktop to be able to launch it. How do you get it so that I'm the only I use Quipster and nothing else?
I think like for some user, I think it's a problem of trial right now. So for some user, when they try like Quipster, and when they, like I said, like when they are at like probably the third step of the ladder, when they start to follow people and being followed, they kind of like don't never come back to the other service, because like our service you can check into the other like service as well via Quipster. So you don't lose a thing by switching to Quipster. And then like you basically explore like new people and new area. And actually like it's surprisingly like many users don't describe our service as like a check-in service at all, because
how do
like,
they describe it?
they actually call it like a fun way of sharing, that kind of thing. Like, or some user they describe it as like, oh, okay, this is like Yelp, this is like a mini Yelp. Or some user is like, okay, this is like a mini Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you sum it up, it's like that's why we call it like it's instant micro sharing. So it's not a check-in. So it's instant micro sharing. So
Instant micro sharing. I like that. But because you're in the middle of this check-in frenzy, right? You'll get lumped into that category because you're stamping yourself at a location. So my apologies if that's the way it came across. My only thing is that I have so many. I have Quipster. I founded my city of Ottawa, which is great. I'm the founder. I love it. So I have it. I mean, I have it on my desktop, and it kind of sits right next to all the other technologies that I use, like Sonar or Tracks, or what else do I have on here? Aside from Foursquare, and then I throw in like Instagram, and I have Gowalla, and so it just becomes that kind of. There has to be a value to keep bringing me back. So it is the relationship building, because Foursquare has it. It might be the coupon, right? And Gowalla, it might be the shared. I don't even know what they're doing anymore, but it might be just the shared travel experience, right? So is there one thing? Is that what it is? It's the relationship building that Quipster to bring people back?
I guess like that's like we are planning to turn like Quipster into like a geo local utility right now. So basically like so to provide like a real value and information value. So basically when we talk about like turning Quipster into like a real utility, right? There are like a few ways to turn it, like provide informational value, right? Information utility, like social utility is one thing, right? So like in terms of like information utility, the experiment that we did is basically we have right now we have a bot, right? We have a bot that provide like that feed like a top restaurant or top events, and also like a point of interest into the city, so people can follow that bot and get like a recommendation as well. So that's the information value. And then like right now we also like provide entertainment utility. So the latest version of Quipster, you have like a city leaderboard, right? So basically every time that you quip, you help your city increase the vibrancy. You make your city more vibrant, and basically you can help your city like compete against other city in the world. And that's like entertainment value, and it's like a real world social game. Actually, our company came from like a real world social game. So we add like kind of like we call it, it's not really a game, but we call a real world game. It's not like a game,
Right.
this is like, okay, you add a vibrancy to your city and help your city like win the world ranking as well. And many users love it to see their city like climb up the rank based on their contribution, that kind of stuff. So that's the third utility. And we plan to add a lot more. Like actually, we plan to add like every 2 weeks. Right now, it's just like 1 month. So we add like I think like 6 or 7 features into Quipster already. So every 2 weeks there will be like
A new release.
yeah, exactly. And every single month, every month we plan to have like a new news, a big news to user as well.
Well, you know, it's funny because it's not uncommon for gamification of something like this. You know, a lot of these guys are doing that, and but it's always been at the local level, like the individual level, not at the city level, which is an interesting play. So let's see how much you love your city by trying to drive up the ranks in Quipster, as opposed to all the other games, all the other social games that they played on layered on top of the check-in technology, which is just individual. Like how many points can you collect? You get 4 points for your first check-in, second, 1 point to redeem a coupon, 3 points for referral. So this is, I mean, it's an interesting play. Gamification is certainly something that we see quite a bit of right now, and it's almost becoming required in every single one of these mobile applications, isn't it?
Right. I think like so for us, I think like when we see a trend of like gamification, I think like you are totally correct that like right now you have to inject some kind of like gamification into like mobile application. But for us, like we want to emphasize that like okay, you are not like going to check in and then you get a badge, that kind of stuff. Like rather than like earning like virtual stuff, we want to focus on the real world aspect of it and on the community aspect. So if you look at the title and ranking in Quipster as well, so it's not like okay, you check in the most to be a mayor. It's your individual activity that counts, right? But basically you earn a title and ranking based on like how many interaction that you get from the other member.
Right.
Like your quip has to be have to be commended, by the other like Quipster in order to earn point and like and climb up the ladder ranking. And at the same time, the ranking means something. The ranking means something. Like if you like basically quip a lot in the dining category, your title will be like a top diner or master Epicurean, and it's like tied to your city as well. So when I check your profile, I can see whether I should follow you because like maybe I want to follow you because you are like a master Epicurean of New York, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I visited New York, so then I can check your quip as well. So we want to focus on the real world and the community aspect of gamification.
So do you think is that how you market this? Is that how it spreads? Is that how you kind of take over cities and communities? What is your marketing? Do you have a marketing plan for this?
Yes. So basically, we plan to we are launching like a marketing campaign like next week.
Yep.
So on July 15th. So basically, it will be like a user contest. It will be a user contest, a user competition. We call it America's Top Quipster.
America's Top Quipster.
Yeah.
America's Top Quipster. Is that what you said? That's great.
Exactly. It's like America's Top Quipster. So basically, we partner with the Tourism Authority of Thailand to provide like a kind of like 5-star vacation to Thailand. So basically, the Top Quipster of America will get like a free air ticket and a free accommodation for 2 at 5-star beach resort in Thailand, and you'll be treated like a royalty
like
by
a
me.
Quipster, right? Yeah.
Exactly, by me and the representative of the Tourism Authority of Thailand. So you'll be treated like as if you were like a president of United States, except that you don't have like annoying bodyguard, you don't fly like Air Force One, and you don't have like a bulletproof like limo. Sorry about that, but
Well, it's okay.
Like, yeah, I hope that's okay.
So this is the launch. This is the launch marketing, and then I mean, are you adding that to advertising, or how are you getting the word out about this?
So it will be like a social media play, and at the same time, we plan to utilize all the other like viral marketing platform, like Dig Stumble Upon or like Wildfire or that kind of stuff, and also leverage the existing user base that we have to spread the news, and also like PR, that kind of stuff. And we plan to run like online marketing as well. So it will be like to support that.
And then beyond that, so how long does that contest run?
It will be 1 month.
And then you crown a winner, and then Do you just keep doing those contests? Do you keep working with the local companies to kind of drive awareness or and users? Because a lot of people do that. They have that exhilaration around launch, and it's like absolutely. I mean, when you go from beta to launch, you experience that complete upswing where you've got users registering every minute, and it's exciting. And then the next day, it's like the trough of despair, right? When it just starts to plummet right off. So how do you? Have you given thought about how you maintain the level of registration for so that you don't hit that trough of despair?
I guess for us like I said every 2 weeks we plan to launch a features, right? And at the same time every month we plan to have a big news, which is in terms of marketing campaign, and also a big feature that we are launching as well. And so for us it's a matter of using the feature that we built. So for next release, we have exciting features in the next release as well, but we cannot disclose yet. And then we definitely have another marketing campaign. So for us, it's every month a Quipster kind we have some exciting activities.
Yep.
And then they can play with their other Quipster. And I think because for us differentiation is key. So we are not going to follow a cookbook that has been already explored by the other services. Okay, you have to go to local services, and then so, and I mean for Quipster it's so easy to travel from city to city and explore the world as well. So I think that the other angle okay, be part of the world community. And even though you live in San Francisco, you can be part of global community, that kind of stuff as well. So that would be the other thing that we plan to do. So it's not only emphasizing local, but emphasizing the community aspect of Quipster as well.
Well, I think what we're finding a lot is companies building out these recommendation engines, and they're crowdsourced, which is exactly what Quipster is. It's a crowdsourced recommendation engine. If I don't live in San Francisco, and I come out to San Francisco and I'm very interested in knowing, a good restaurant, I could start following, as you said, somebody who's epicurally efficient, or has a great coefficient in knowing what restaurants to go to. So it's a discovery engine.
Exactly. And I think for Quipster it's kind of like I said at the basic level, right? At the basic level of local, right? You have a location, which is a base level, and then on top of that you have a social layer, right? You have a location layer, you have a social layer. And for Quipster, in the social layer there are two layers. They are your friends, which is existing social graph, and then you have a new social graph, right? And on top of that you have a contextual, you have a semantic layer based on that icon. So our ultimate goal is to build that kind of semantic network, right? That kind of semantic network. You can think of icon as a structured tag, right? It's a structured tag, so that you can link people, connect people, not only based on their location, not only based on the existing social graph, but new social graph, and also based on the semantic as well. So that's our ultimate goal, so that you can provide a more accurate recommendation to people.
I like that. I like the concept of it. I love the fact that you pull all this information together, and you give me a choice about who I should follow and where I should follow, and you can see that as people start to use this, which is key, which is contributions from people like me or people like you in the community contributing to to the story of the city. The good rises, the bad falls. And you'll be able to curate your city a lot better, especially from a visitor standpoint.
Exactly.
So, how does this? So, are you funded? Do you have? You're in San Francisco, lots of money floating around there, a crazy amount of money floating around there. But do you have? You don't have venture funding.
We have angel funding.
You have angel investors. Are they American angel investors?
No, he's Asia.
It's Asian angel. So,
yeah.
You've obviously got a perspective out there. I'll come back to the funding in a second, but you've got a perspective. And you said at the very beginning that this is very popular in places like Thailand, or where there's a concentrated population. How is North America on par with what you're seeing in Asia, or is Asia ahead, or is America ahead when it comes to this kind of technology?
I think you mean in general, or for Quipster?
Well, so Quipster's market, for example, and then we'll expand outwards. But for Quipster, you said that it was embraced there because of the density of the population. Obviously it's not as big as the U.S., but in terms of a square foot or square miles or size. So for Quipster, is it a product that's better suited for Asia, or is it better suited for North America? Or does it matter?
I think it doesn't matter actually. I think like we see like, but I think like when because like in North America, like I said, when we speak, it's like it's in general, it's like on average because like okay for some city you have only three guys that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But like in Asia because it's just like okay one capital per country, you know.
Yeah.
It's something like that. So even in US, I mean like even in Asia, like for some provinces, for some like city, it doesn't work as well because you have only like three guys that have like an iPhone, that kind of stuff. But like in the capital of the country, it works. And in US as well, like it doesn't work in like it work in the metropolitan city at the moment.
Right.
It work in the metropolitan. It's not like it's not suited for all the city. I can say at the moment, but we hope that in the near future when we have like more user, it will work more in the other type of city as well. It's a matter of like the type of city that Quipster works, I think.
It's interesting because so many things, just like different parallels that you take into consideration when you're building your product. But where your product becomes popular is that perfect convergence of connectivity. Obviously, it's only iPhone right now, so iPhone accessibility. So who has iPhones?
Exactly.
And then a density of population that have a little bit excess income in order to be able to do the things that you're highlighting here. So whether it's out shopping or restaurants or events or something like that. So you can almost kind of overlay that around the globe and see, okay, well, it's going to work in San Francisco. It's not going to work in Lincoln, Nebraska right now, but eventually it might.
Yep.
And it will work in Bangkok, but it might not work in Phuket, right?
Right.
Or something like that, right? Where it's like there's certain cities where it's going to work. But when it comes to take a step back from this kind of technology, the mobile technology, it's driven predominantly from what we're experiencing in North America. Around the craze that they call things like check-in, location-based awareness, or even QR codes. These are a decade-old technology, and even in mobile applications and paying for things on your phone, mobile commerce. They've been doing this in Asia for 10 years now. So when you look at this, has North America caught up to where Asia has been, kind of leading the way with Docomo and a bunch of other forward thinkers?
Oh, I think like it's just like I used to work for Google Asia before, and I think like definitely like a country like Japan and like Korea, they are pretty much ahead. But it's and but some other country it's just like okay the same level or like behind US as well. It's just like different country has different like a development model that work, and even in Japan like probably like the model that work in Japan might not work in US as well.
Right.
So it's kind of like I think it's kind of like not the level of the I think it's just like a different model. It's just not like okay someone is ahead of somebody else, that kind of stuff. It's just totally different model. Like a model in Japan is the mobile model in Japan is quite different from Korea as well. Like they are but they are definitely more similar to each other. They're like similar to US definitely. That kind of thing. So
yeah, it's a great approach, or it's a great way of looking at things. Is that what will work in Asia or Japan or a locale may not work in North America, and vice versa, right?
Right. Or it might not work right now, but might work later. Like for something like, for example, like mobile payment, like we see a lot of like in Japan and Korea. It's just like but for in US, I think it just like start to catch up.
Yeah.
I think like that's kind of thing. That's one thing, and also like a virtual good payment, that kind of stuff. Like we see like virtual good payment, like in application payment, like in Japan and in Korea, it's just like
it's common.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like US, it's just like okay, it's just a past few years that it's like a start to like okay, really big, and like that's why you have like a company like Singa or like
Well, it's funny though because when we start to look at that, we say, "Look at this! This is the best thing ever!" And all we have to do is kind of look over at Japan or South Korea and say, well, they've been doing it for so long. NTT Docomo built their entire business on virtual goods and basically wallpaper and customized icons, right? So
Exactly.
and they did it 10 years ago, and it's coming into North America. But it's interesting, the perspective. But coming back to your company, to Quipster. You found an angel investor who's willing to invest in the company, but there's got to be some kind of revenue. Are you going to, back to the angel investor? Are you going to go out and raise money, or do you think that you have enough now to be able to just go out and you with the launch of the product to be able to start to generate income, so you don't have to go out and get more investment?
I think like we need to get like more investment definitely after this. Yeah, I think like yeah, I think so.
And so, like, you'll go out the traditional route. You think VCs, that kind of stuff, or more?
VC is option. VC is one option.
Okay. So the other option is obviously generating revenue.
Exactly.
Have you got some thoughts on how you do that?
I think like right now it's still like a bit early for us, but I think like I said, like when we have enough enough like information, and like you said, like discovery engine, and because like I think Quipster is like so unique that you're building like a semantic like network, right? You have like a lot of like semantic data, that kind of stuff, and then like definitely we plan to use that model to be like I think like we call it like an advert for local.
Yeah.
So every time that you quip, it's like, okay, you're sending like a search query, that kind of stuff. I think like it will be very sad if we say like, okay, the model that work in local, like, okay, you check in and then you get coupon, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that's the start of the that's just the beginning of like a next wave of innovation. So we want to be part of that as well. So, and when we have that kind of like semantic network and that kind of like information, I think it will be like the sky is the limit. You can use that to do so much. Like you can target like the ad. You can like, it's not only like a deal, that kind of stuff. You can like recommend people to follow, that kind of thing.
Yep.
It's kind of like, it will be just like so exciting. And I think like it's just a matter of like exploring different business model that might work.
Yeah, I keep running through this in my head, especially when I was introduced to this, to the concept of Quipster, and thinking, okay, so how do you make money? Because ultimately you've got to be able to translate users and quips and interactions into dollars and sustainability for the company. And you said something that was really interesting to me right there, which was great, which is, listen, what's going on right now with the coupons. We don't want to just dive right into the coupons, because that's today, it's not tomorrow. Coupons are certainly not the best way to do it, and especially if you're relying on a user input and their interest and their likes around a product or a service. And you don't want to put a coupon out there where everybody's hating that service, right? I mean, it's a very challenging space that you're in, just simply because when you get humans involved in reviewing something, advertising dollars might not come in as a result of that. So you got to start to think about how you can create more value from the aggregate content or the aggregate data, and that's very interesting. I like that a lot. But you're ways off from finding out how to make money.
Right. I think like at least like I think like probably 6 months at least. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm always interested in this because I talk to a lot of companies who are building a product, and they say, listen, my focus is, and you stated very clearly on your website, your focus is creating a great product in iOS. And when we're done that, we'll go into other platforms. But until we get this right, we're going to stay in iOS. And I hear people say that, and then I hear companies say, we're not focused on a revenue model. We're focused on building users and giving them a great experience, and then we'll look at the revenue model. Do you ever, and I think that's what you're doing, do you ever worry that you're going to get to that point when you've created a great user experience, and you're going to go out there and say, okay, now we're ready to find the revenue model, and you're going to be like, wait, there isn't one? Does that ever cross your mind?
I think like that's a nightmare of every entrepreneur.
Yes.
I know. I'll be frank, but I think like in Quipster, it's just like for us, like at least at the moment, I think it's good for Quipster that we have like many cities that are in different different development stages, you know,
Right.
like for some city, like okay, you have a lot of people that start to interact with each other, so you can test the revenue without waiting for like 6 months to develop a large user base.
Right.
You can start to test the revenue model like
Okay.
out there
Yeah.
immediately. So you can test in like San Francisco, you can test in New York, and then like okay, when it works, you roll out to the rest of the United States, and then like you can test like in international market as well. You can like, you know, and then like you can, when you have like 10 markets, you can test 10 different business models. So for me, it's like it's kind of like experimentation, you know, and then like see what works and what doesn't work, and then like how we like combine and then like, you know, adapt and adjust. So I mean like even like in the next 2 months we can test the revenue model immediately without like and then like the full business model might evolve in the next 6 months, that kind of stuff.
Oh, I love that. And you know, you brought up a great point again, because you start to think about the beauty of mobile and the fear of mobile. They kind of balance each other out. Is that it's relatively simple to build a mobile product and deploy that mobile product globally.
Right.
But then one business model or one revenue model doesn't fit. We've just talked about this. It doesn't fit globally. It's different
Right.
in New York than it is in San Francisco, than it is in Bangkok, than it is in Japan, China, North Korea, well, not North Korea, but South Korea. It's very different for each one of those locales. So you really have to be aware of that as you're building out your business model that says it might work in New York and Boston, similar, Philadelphia, similar, but it's not going to work in San Francisco or Washington State or Seattle, and then it's definitely not going to, that same business model is not going to work in Bangkok. I mean, so you really have to kind of hone your business model and your revenue model based on the location. Do you see that as a challenge?
I think that's really like really a big challenge. I think like for local, I mean like for local, there's no, I mean like there might be like a very scalable like business model, but I think like you still have to learn and then like basically attack like locale by locale.
Right.
You know? I think you are totally right, and I totally believe that there might be like some emerging like some emerging like a dominant business model, but at the same time I think you have to adjust to local. But we don't really know like how much localization that you have to do. We don't really know until like we test our business model.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Right.
the best hope is that you have one business model that works for every locale, right? But it's probably not. Right.
Well, and you know, it's even like in my city, it's a small city. There's 1 million people in the city, which is pretty small. You know, San Francisco, I'm in Canada, so San Francisco, California's population is the same as Canada's population, right? So, I mean, density, when you talk about that, I mean, California is very dense
Yep.
in terms of population. Canada has very spread out in terms of population. The same number of people pretty much live in both. But in my city, you got 1 million people. And in the neighborhoods, there's a distinction between neighborhoods in my city. Even a small city like this, there's a wealthy neighborhood, there's a middle class neighborhood, there's a not many below that. But when you start to think about their value, that's when you can go crazy thinking about the different business models based on the different, not only cities, countries, but neighborhoods, right? So
Right.
yeah, I mean, I really interested to see the stats that come out, the analytics that you pull from this, because it's going to tell you a great story about how to turn that into revenue.
Right.
I think hopefully soon, right? As you said, to test it out.
Yep.
So then, what's the grand vision? Obviously, for this is to, you work in parallel with a lot of the other technologies. But is the outcome of this that recommendation engine, or is it much greater than that? And does it go beyond mobile and kind of move into terrestrial, like into laptops, desktops, away from mobile? Or are you just going to stay in the mobile space?
I think like at least like in the I think like for intermediate term, it definitely we will stay in like in mobile. And like I said, like basically it just like provide like you said, like a discovery engine. Like for us it's kind of like okay, building a semantic network
Yep.
that basically transform how you live your metro and urban life, that kind of stuff, how you live your city life. So basically which who is who in your city, what is what, and what matter in your city, and what is going on. So basically it just like transform your like your your city life, that kind of stuff, and make it easier. So okay, you don't have to like search. You can like discover with Quipster, and at the same time you get like a good recommendation, that kind of thing, and that like perfectly fit with your tastes and preferences, and it's like recommended by like the rest of your the rest of the fellow citizen, that kind of thing. So based on that kind of like semantic data and that kind of graph and network that you build.
Oh, I like it. And what question am I not asking you that you're dying to tell me? Is there anything that I haven't asked you that the viewers or listeners need to know about what you guys are doing with Quipster?
No, I think you have done a great job.
It was just me fishing for a compliment. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. How do people find out more about Quipster?
Basically, go to our website www.quipster.co.
It's not yes.
Exactly. So go to that website or like shoot out an email via our contact form. Like contact us. Hope it works right now.
Okay. Yeah, and it works now, right? That's right.
Yeah, it works now. Thank you.
That's how we met, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or follow like at Quipster app.
At Quipster app, and obviously available on the iTunes around the world, on iTunes or the App Store around the world right now. It's in every app store.
Yep.
Yeah, because I downloaded it in Canada, and anybody in Ottawa who's watching or listening to this is that I founded the city, so connect with me at least, so that there's some. I want to create a relationship, and we'll see if we can I can move up that ladder with some people that I don't know already as a result of Quipster. I'll keep you up to date about that.
Thank you.
So go to Quipster, Quipster.co, or just search for Quipster, that same spelling on the App Store. Through iTunes, even, and you'll find the application. Download it. Give it a whirl. It is. I've got to say that it is a very well designed application. I'm a big UI UX guy. I love great design, the opening sequence that you have before you even register. You download the application. There's 5 screens that you slide through that will tell you all of that you need to know about the application and how to use it in very simple terms. And that's what I love about it. And the UI usability is beautiful. The icons are great. I think you've done a bang-up job. How long did it take you to develop that?
I think about 2 or 3 months.
So, I mean, that's fast. And I know you're going through iterations, and you've just launched the product. But UI is so very important, and as you said, you want to make sure that with 1 click or 2 clicks, you've done what you need to do, and you don't want to turn anybody off the first time that they use the product. So congratulations on launching such a beautiful product. You should be very proud of that. I've seen a lot, and a lot of them don't work. So all right, so go to Quipster.co. Do a search for them on iTunes. Go and download the product and give it a whirl. Give it a quip. Become the Quipster of your city, or found your city, and reach out to a bunch of other people and let them know that it's going. And then I expect to be in Thailand, being treated like a king for this competition that you're running starting the 15th. If not, I'll just tag along.
Thank you.
I'll be the guy that carries the luggage. Okay.
Yeah, probably we give you a courtesy package.
That's right. Well, listen, thank you. I've been speaking with Krating Poonpol, who is the founder of Quipster. Go and download the product. Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate you. You're very candid. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I'm glad we can get you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much, too.
And thank you guys who are still listening or watching. It means a lot to me. If you have any comments or feedback or suggestions for the show, reach out at untether@gmail.com. And as always, I'll be back with another episode soon. So we'll see you then. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.